Okay, so it looks like you guys can see the screen. Great. Fantastic. I have no idea what's been going on with GoToWebinar lately. I've been using this platform for the last, probably about 11, 12 years now. And one of the main reasons why we use it, it's certainly not the most inexpensive solution for this type of communication. However, it has always been the most reliable. But over the last year, and on 3 different occasions, which had never happened before, all of a sudden, it's been a little bit glitchy. So hopefully they get their act together, because they usually are completely reliable. So again, I do apologize for starting our call a little bit late here today. So what I want to do first, folks, if you could hear, which I believe you can, is to talk a little bit, kind of recap. We had a holiday last week, so we didn't have our weekly call. However, there seems to be a little bit of confusion in the field, and I see that we have a very good turnout on tonight's call. I really wanted to ask you to kind of be the voice out there to some of the people that may not be connected, may not be on this call right now. Maybe they work, maybe they're out of town, maybe they're, who knows? Maybe they just, lost touch and haven't heard some of the update webinars that we've done. We've tried to do the very best that we can in presenting in the most transparent way where we are as a company, what is happening, what has happened, what's transpired, and ultimately what we are doing about it. And so I just want to, remind you that if you're on these calls and you do know of other people that are not on these calls, it's so vital, so important that you communicate everything that's been communicated on the webinars. And so I don't want to go through a complete recap of everything that was said 2 weeks ago, but I do think that there is a need, because there's the disconnect with how many people actually get on the webinars on a consistent basis, are in the know, versus the people that are not in the know. And then when we blast out a communication from the company in email format or text format, then what might end up happening is that's their first exposure to news that they have not psychologically have worked up to. And then what winds up happening, it causes confusion, it causes frustration, it causes unnecessary anxiety, grief, and anger, and who knows what in somebody's feelings, when all of a sudden they feel like, the rug got pulled from under them or something of that nature, when they haven't heard all of the information or all the steps that have been taken with your best interest and as first priority. And so some of those things being some of the announcements that I talked about 2 weeks ago, and I was very candid about it, and I said, hey, there might be a couple of areas that we're not addressing right here, right now on this webinar, but as soon as the solution presents itself on a couple of issues, and we're going to get that out to the leadership, and the leadership is going to get that out to the field. And so that has happened. I remember that 2 weeks ago there was one particular thing that I at that moment didn't have an answer for. It had to do with e-gift cards. That has been addressed. That information has been sent out. So I'm not going to go over all of that right now. But everybody out there needs to know that, hey, number one, iPro Network is winding down. It's not a hard stop. We're looking at stop taking orders by July 31st. Now, anybody that signs up with any of the promo packs between now and then will be honored and will not have to pay a registration fee moving forward into the new company, which is iThrive. Now, that being said, it is a winding down. So the promo packs are just the promo packs that we're going to be starting with, in addition to some very exciting packages that we're going to be adding in that are going to be priced for the masses. And so we want to make sure that we have something for somebody that just wants to get in, start working, start building the network, start leveraging the education that we sell, also leveraging the compensation plan, leveraging their teams, their people, and all those things. So we want to have a price point that is affordable for everybody to participate, and of course a registration fee that they need to do when they sign up. Now, so those are two very important things. Now, one of the things that I did say, and I am going to recap here, is that we are going to be taking into consideration the PV that you have with the purchases that you had at iPro Network. What that means is to unlock certain parts of the compensation structure, the caps basically, to unlock those caps, they were tied into, what your personal volume was, and you generated personal volume by making a purchase. So that PV is what unlocks those caps into the compensation structure. And that's not going to be any different when we move into the other one. So the caps may be different, the compensation plan may be different, but the personal volume and what that unlocks is going to be different in relationship to the caps. So we want to honor people with what they purchased here in terms of personal volume if they wish to continue. If they don't wish to continue, then it's a non-issue anyway. But just so you know that is there. Now, a couple of other things that are very important. I think that the industry that we're in is so volatile. It just moves one way, then it moves the other way. And I've kind of seen it, right? One day you're here, one day you're there, on top, bottom, whatever. Sometimes everything goes sideways. However, I think that what you're seeing here as we wind down is that, number one, everybody has access to their products. Number two, everybody has access to their currency, their rewards, which ultimately become currency. Everybody is getting paid their commitment. Very, very differences. And these are things that you really, when you go to your teams, you really need to hear. And if you believe what I'm saying is true, then say it. If you don't believe that what I'm saying is true, then don't say it. But it's a back office and finding error 404, and then boom, everything's done. We're happening here, and that's not industry standard. Industry standard is, hey, let's ride it until the wheels fall off, and then we disappear and go buy an island somewhere. That is not happening here, and that message is not getting out there to the field. So, I kind of want to entrust you with that type of information, because people really need to understand that this is a winding down, but everything has been done and is being done with your best interest at heart. And I think that over the time that we spent here together at iPro, we've proven that over and over and over again. And sometimes people forget, right? Because the circumstance, they get an email, they don't understand what that email is, they weren't on a webinar, they don't understand that this has been a progression of events that has led us up to complying with the wishes of the SEC, even though we do not agree. We have to believe that, they're in a place of authority, and, as believers, it says, hey, you got to submit to the authorities, and those are the authorities, and we're going to submit whether we like it or we don't like it. And so at the end of the day, folks, that is something that, these points that I covered a lot more in detail 2 weeks ago are important that people know it. If you do know somebody, just reach out and say, hey, have you heard this? Have you heard that? This is what's happening. But hey, you know what? They're going to take care of us. They're going to get our products. We're going to get our coins. We're going to get this, and we're going to get that. Now, what I also want to mention, and this is very, very important, is I want everybody to be very closely watching what's going to happen between now and next Thursday on the Pro Commerce side. And I'm not going to go into details of it right now. I'm super excited about what's going to be announced. I kind of have a preview already, but I'm not going to talk about it right here. I'm just going to let you know, let all your teams, let all your people know that special announcements are coming out next Thursday from Pro Commerce. That is going to be huge. That is going to be, it's going to be powerful, guys. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it, but it's going to be powerful. You guys want to keep track of that. And then everybody that you do know, make sure that they are cognizant that some big things are happening. Big things are going to be announced next Thursday through Pro Commerce. So with that being said, folks, I also have the pleasure today of having my better half, the intelligent one, of the Pacheco family. I have Ms. Carla Pacheco here with me, and it's such a pleasure to have her with us on this webinar and have her share some of her thoughts, some of the exciting, her thoughts on what's happening right now, and also, what we're moving into. And I'll talk a little bit about that before the call's out as well. But I just want to introduce her and give her a few minutes to address the field. So I'm going to shut up for the next few minutes. Here's Carla Pacheco.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time out to join us. I know that your time is precious, and we want to honor it with, a message of substance that has enough information in there that can, will be useful for you. And but first and foremost, I really want to thank you, because you have poured yourself into this project in a way that not many groups of people do. And it says a lot about not just the leaders in the field, but it says a lot about the power of when people come together and they catch a vision, and when they feel in complete alignment and it resonates with them, and they have a true and authentic and genuine interest in helping other people succeed financially and helping other people succeed in various areas of their life. And the one thing I've seen as a consistent thread over and over and over in the last 18 months has been people, number one, rolling up their sleeve, getting things done, no matter what needs to get done, not being above it all, really being in the trenches and helping people out in whatever it needed to be, whether it needed to be something on the technical side, whether they needed to step in and put on a customer service hat, a tech service hat, a researcher hat, whatever it took. The way it's played out, it really says a lot about the type of people that have been attracted to iPro Network and the caliber of people that you are, and that is just priceless. And so I want to tell you that it has been a roller coaster of a ride, both on your end and on our end, and I am just honored. We feel very honored that it has been with this group of people, because the patience, the perseverance, it has just been, I can't compare it to anything else that I've ever seen in the industry. And so with that being said, there's a lot of hard decisions that have had to be made right from the beginning. I mean, it has not been an easy thing. It has been very blessed. It has been very exciting. It has been very fruitful. It has been, and it's not over yet. The best is yet to come. On a lot of fronts, on the pro-commerce side, on the currency side, and on all of those third-party projects that are going to be announced very soon, because, you either believe that things happen randomly, or you either believe that there's a reason behind everything. I subscribe to there's a reason and there's a plan and there's a purpose for everything. And so, now that we're getting on the other side of things, I'm being able to see how certain things have unfolded, that have taken place. I've been able to starting to see a little bit about the why behind, things that maybe I was scratching my head about for a good 8 months, especially with the private investigation of one of our payment solutions. And we've been in the trenches with that for quite a while. It has not been an easy thing. And, we've been transparent. We've kept, we've kept you enlightened about it as much as information we have or can share. And we're going to agree to disagree, but we're also going to analyze things from a higher, 30, 60,000 view perspective. We're going to look for the good of everyone involved first and foremost. We're not going to let our pride get in the way. Will some people be upset? Yes. Will they assume the worst? Yes. But time will show. And we can hold our head up high, and we can go to sleep at night sound, knowing that people's incomes are protected, that people's rewards are protected, that people's that the project itself is protected, for pro-commerce and pro-currency and all of the other projects attached to it, and that it's attracting. And we believe that in the long run, that far outweighs this particular hurdle, because that's what I choose to see it as another hurdle. And when everything is going left, sometimes you have to take that sharp right turn. And so that's what we decided to do. Do we invest all this time, money, effort into just continuing this battle just to make a point? Or do we say, okay, fine, let's release some of the stuff. Let's release what iPro Network as an entity is, but that vision still continues, and there's a new, fresh vision that is unfolding, and whoever feels attracted to that can be a part of that, and they're going to be taken care of and honored in the same way we do it with events, in the same way we've done it whenever any hurdle has come up. We just want to honor your work and your time and your effort, and everything that you've poured into. And so we're gonna do that with this new vision, and Daniel will be sharing a little bit more about that. It's very exciting. It's very interesting to see how much even the new project has started to evolve from when it first started, because in the same way that for iPro Network, doors started opening, as soon as we took the first leap of faith with it, when the vision started unfolding, and the way that started evolving, and resources and people and doors opened, in that same way, we're starting to see it unfold, and it's just confirmation after confirmation after confirmation that this is something that really needs to get out there, and that's going to be a huge blessing and very prosperous for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to benefit from it, are going to be able to leverage a lot of what's already been built out. And then on the flip side to that is that I believe that, like everything's interconnected one way or another. I believe that there's no accidents, no coincidences, and that further down the road, I can see how some of the paths might cross again on some of the aspects and the synergy between it. But we're going to focus on the task at hand, one step at a time, the way we have before, and actually better than before, because we have a lot of infrastructure that we can leverage. We have a lot more infrastructure that we wanted to leverage in the last 8 months that we haven't been able to, that we can roll out within the new company, and that you guys can finally benefit from. And so I'm very excited about both what Danny's going to share today, and also a more formal overview and presentation of what the new project is, and we'll be sending out notifications about that. We will have to have everyone register for updates and communications that have to do with just iThrive, just because of new laws and stuff about email that have taken place, and about privacy policies in Europe and in different countries, and here in the US. So we are going to need for everybody to go and sign up for that. So if you are on the email list for iPro Network, know that you'll be receiving an email with an invitation to go register for updates. If you're not on there, then go on to mypnhq.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click on where it says to sign up for email updates, and make sure you're on there, because that's how you're going to receive an invitation to sign up for updates for iThrive. And that's going to be a whole brand new email list, and only those who have requested information and given permission for us to send them information, will be receiving that information. Now, that's not your enrollment into the company. So if you're, if you're a leader on here and you say, what, is that how many people are going to sign up? No. We have certain processes we're going to follow, and we'll be sharing that with you as well. But this is just going to be so that you can get information about timelines, so you can get information, play by play as it unfolds. And we have quite a bit going on already behind the scenes for that. But I just wanted to have an opportunity to thank you, and for all of your help in the last 2-3 weeks in making sure that everyone has had that everyone's requesting their iWallet funds, that everyone's being kept up to date on how to redeem unused e-gift cards, how to get their rewards out. The email that went out did catch some people by surprise. I got some crazy text messages, and I had to jump on the phone there for a minute to kind of talk people off the ledge. They actually thought their wallets, their pro currency wallets, were useless at that point. They thought that was getting shut down. So there was some confusion there. So anyway, but I was able to explain to people, fill in the gaps, tell them a little bit about what's taken place and how we decided to take proactive approach and do kind of like a preemptive strike there, so that we can make sure we got information out ahead of the times and been able to get people taken care of, because our priority is that everyone is made whole. And that's the priority on the iPro Network side. And then on the iThrive side is that we honor the work of those people that have already been working with us previously. And Danny can share a little bit more on iThrive with you.
Well, thank you, Carla. And I've been having the initial response, obviously, when you start talking about something brand new, the initial response of somebody that comes into your circle of influence is so powerful, because you might be excited about something, but until you put it out there, until you start testing it with other people, that's when you really know. And so, I actually, Carla shared with me this over the weekend. She was at a family gathering, and she just started talking a little bit about the vision of what Thrive has and what it can do for somebody that currently is looking for a way to move from being in a survival mode to a thriving mode. And there's just so many people out there that need what we have. And to be able to see the reactions, the questions, the interest, the digging in and trying to figure out, well, how do I get this? How can I start? When's the next one? How do I read? Just all those types of questions that are happening based on just a conversation, not at a, just a regular conversation it wasn't prospecting. It was at a dinner or a family reunion that this conversation took place. I had to do with somebody that just didn't want to work anymore in what they were doing, and then asked her, well, what do you do? And then, that kind of led into the conversation, but it was so casual. And what was mentioned on there and what they wanted to do, they were already thinking of, man, I could sell this, I could sell that. Oh my gosh, you're going to teach us how to do all those things and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I wasn't there, but I kind of got to hear that, but it just confirmed everything that I've been hearing. Because of course I've been putting those feelers out there. I was with a group of gentlemen out of Brazil that are bringing a whole network over of people that are excited about what we're doing, and spent an hour with them. After that hour, I was getting text messages from the person that had organized the call, that 2 hours later, after I finished being with them for an hour, they were still texting back, okay, how do I get started? How do I get started? And so we can feel it right now. We have different leaders out in the field, like Mr. Mario Delgadillo and Mr. Bishop Stewart and some other leaders that are out there that are starting to push. and already want to start placing their people and getting going and starting. So we want to honor everybody, right, and do things right. And so that's why we definitely need to get that registration form out there. But so you know that what we're about to launch, here's what I want to talk about. Number one, the whole concept of Thrive is we want people that might be in a scenario where they need to make more money. That's their immediate need. I need more money right now. Okay. And then there's going to be those people that, maybe they have enough to pay their bills. They're not in that survival mode, but they're definitely not where they want to be. Right? They maybe they tried a few things or whatever. They have that entrepreneurial spirit, but they just need the guidance. They feel that void where there's so much out there, so many voices, so many people saying, hey, we got this, we got that, but they don't really know what they want to do. And so the how-tos are so important. So how to make money is an immediate need, but for these people is how to make money, but how to keep more money, right? And how to be a little bit more in a better position financially. And then, of course, there's how do I leverage that money? So those three things are so important when you think of Thrive, that we can walk people through that ascension model. And that is what we're putting together. So we want to make sure that we have products that are priced in such a way that can go around the world very, very quickly. Now, because we are taking the role of, hey, we're going to fill this void in the industry of how to get people into entrepreneurship, we have to realize that we cannot focus that on US only. Now, of course, I'm an American citizen. I love this country, and I think that this country absolutely needs entrepreneurship. From the Thrive event, just getting confirmation from Josh Tolley on how hard. I mean, listen, if you're working somewhere, I don't mean, hey, go quit tomorrow. But what I am saying is that to really get ahead and keep up with inflation, we cannot do it just based on our income most of the times as employees. And so to get into that entrepreneur, whether that means an extra $1,000 a month or 10,000 or 20,000, or if you dream like I dream, an extra $100,000 a month, those are where we want to get to. And I was just running some scenarios earlier today, because not only is the price points are going to be there, but these are really cool things that you need to understand. We cannot go around the world with just English only. So even though we're going to launch everything in English, of course, right? We're here, we're in this country, and we want to make sure that we impact people here. But if there is such a great need here, think about the rest of the world. See, if you're hurting here, there's about, I don't know how many countries out there and their citizens that would love to trade places with you. So if you're hurting here, there's a ton of people out there that would still consider your lifestyle so much better than them. They're thinking you're thriving. You might think I'm surviving right here in the U.S. Well, somebody over in India, somewhere over in Mexico, somewhere else, and I'm not picking on those countries just to, maybe those were the wrong examples. Maybe they're doing much better than we are. Who knows? But I'm just throwing out examples. There are other people out there that would absolutely love to trade places with you. And so we want to honor that and be able to provide an opportunity where the purchase price or the education is priced right, so that we can go around the world very, very rapidly. So we're going to price some products that should be $2,000 products. We're going to price those at $99 right off the bat. And when you guys see the tremendous value that are in those products, it's just going to be, there's no hype here, guys. You're either going to believe it or not believe it. But you could teach somebody how to create more engagement, more leads, more prospects, and do it at will. And you could do that anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have a computer, internet access, and be able to master that one skill. You're going to empower people tremendously. And so keep your eyes open on that when we give you the full details of that. But that's going to allow us to go around the world. Now, what's really exciting about that is that simultaneously it will come out in English and in Spanish, and with a very, very low wait period. I'm talking about maybe another week after that. You should have them in Portuguese and Mandarin. Actually, the Mandarin translations are already started now. We're going to get started with the Portuguese as well. but both the English and the Spanish, those are being finalized already, and we're moving into the Mandarin and Portuguese. So with those 4 languages, okay, if you're a leader, listen to that. That opens up the entire world. Now you might think, well, there's French, there's German, there's the absolutely. We'll get there, guys, but we got to start with some of the main key languages out there, because here's what I know: most people in Europe, or a big amount of people in Europe, they'll speak their native language, but they also speak English. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So to start with English, Portuguese, Mandarin, and Spanish simultaneously on all the products that we offer is going to be a really, really tough endeavor, but we're going to commit to that, folks, because that'll allow us to go and bless people internationally. So, and we're going to be doing it at price points that are not going to be a barrier of entry for people that, let's say, are in Brazil, or maybe they're in Latin America, maybe they're in Colombia, or maybe they're in El Salvador, or Belize, or who knows where they're at. Maybe they're in Peru. And well, actually, people in Peru have a lot of money. But anyway, point is, we are going to price products that are not going to be a barrier of entry for 99% of the world, which is going to be pretty powerful. Now, on top of that, what I can tell you, and I'm not going to go into a full-blown presentation here. I have the slides already. I'm just not going to do it today because, we'd be here for a lot longer on this update call. But once you see the full-blown presentation,
a little taste to some of the categories. Just some of the ones in.
Yeah, but I want to give them some excitement here, because I'm excited about this part, and I get excited about the payouts. Okay, the payouts are really exciting for me, because at the end of the day, money isn't the most important thing in the world, and it's not going to get you. Money isn't happiness for any stretch of the imagination. But if you're going to be unhappy, or if I'm going to be unhappy, I'd rather be unhappy with money than without it. Because being broke and unhappy is not good. So that's a horrible scenario. So with this compensation structure that you're going to be exposed to, probably as early as next Monday, I think it's going to blow your mind, because this compensation plan structure is actually going to pay more money. Now, our compensation plan already pays a ton of money, but we figured out a way to actually pay out more money, which is even crazier. So not only are you going to have the potential to make more money, but you're going to have 100% of that money paid to you in USD. On top of that, you're going to also have the ability to, based on the PV that you have now, be able to get placed on and have the ability for the caps that have been extended, right, to allow you to make more money, already qualify into those, because we're honoring that PV. So you're going to be able to have, yes, whatever the top of the compensation plan is that if that's where you're at right now with iPro, but that's going to mean that the potential there is actually greater for you in terms of compensation, which is really powerful. And so when you look at the full-blown presentation, all I'm going to say right now is take a look at the matches as well very carefully, because there's some powerful changes there that are just going to blow you away. And so that's very exciting to me, and I can't wait to share that with you next week on Monday's webinar. So, Carly, you were mentioning something real quick to me to talk to them about something.
Some of the categories on the trainings and on the training software tools and stuff. Just some of the categories, like
well, I can tell you one thing right now that I'm super excited about, which is the marketing course. The marketing course, when I used the marketing courses that we have, I always used to teach a seminar when we were back in Chicago. And one of the things that I always taught on, haven't done it recently, but that training consisted of, and it might be a little dated because what my slogan is you have to master 2 skills in our industry, actually in most any industry. One of them is you have to get the phone to ring, and then your message has to ring true. And so what does that mean? What that means is, well, I'm a little older than most people in this industry probably. And I remember when it was about getting the phone to ring. Now it's, click and order, right? But Back then, it was, hey, I'm going to do some advertising. I'm going to run some ads, and I want to make sure that the phone is ringing off the hook. And that's the first step, right? That's advertising. You want to get the phone to ring. You want to get people calling you, interested in what you have. And that's key. If you can master that one thing, it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you sell shoes or you sell cars or you sell education, or if you're a network marketer, if you're prospecting for people. It doesn't matter. If you can get people calling you, or you get people through the internet clicking on what you have and somehow winding up in your funnel, whatever that, however you want to do it. But that's the first part of it, is getting people and attracting people through advertising that want to get, buy, or do business with you in one shape or form or another. So that's the first skill that you need to master. The second skill that you need to master is, now what do I say, right? The message. What is it that I'm going to present? How am I going to get them to look at what I have, experience what I have, digest what I have, marinate in what I have, and ultimately obtain commitment? So those are the two skill sets that you need to master. And so I think that the first one is so, so important, because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, whether you're a self-employed, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a network marketer, whether you're an author, whether you're a plumber, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. You have to learn that basic skill. And so to be able to offer that in a course that really should be priced around $1,500 to $2,000, and to get all of that knowledge and to be able to get that for $99, that is just staggering. That is absolutely amazing. And so that's one of the categories. Now, we kind of separated into two categories. One of them obviously is generating cash flow. The other one is creating wealth. And so one of them, think about it as arbitrage. However, you've probably seen a lot of testimonials that have been put out there in the field. So this training is tried and true. There's a lot of testimonials attached to it. That's going to be an Amazon arbitrage training that is going to be priced phenomenally. I don't want to give everything on this call because you don't have the visuals that go with it, but that's going to have a second tier bonus. It's priced right, and that one could get somebody up and running, making money right away. And think of that as kind of like your first entry into the world of e-commerce. And then, of course, we'll have an accession model of some higher level trainings that go deeper into the e-commerce space, setting up your own stores and things like that. But on the trading side, we're also incorporating Forex. We're incorporating the crypto trading. We have a new app, Trading Signals program, that's going to be on your phone. It's going to be on your mobile device, and you're going to be able to look at the trades and then just swipe. It'll take you right to your account, take the trades. If you guys have been following our hit BTC signals, they're absolutely off the charts. People are going crazy with them. And so now to be able to have it on an app and be able to just swipe from your phone and take the trades, that's going to be very, very powerful as well. So don't want to give too much, but super excited of what we have. We have other things in the mix as well. Payment solutions. We just finished today, all day. It's been about payment solutions and wallets and different things. And so we're looking at bringing on board some solid payment solutions that can, facilitate payment in and payment out, not just here in the U.S., but around the world. And so that, that's exciting as well. So anyway, folks, I've always passed that 30-minute mark, and whenever I look, I'm at 45. So I want to end this with letting you know, folks, that we have a tremendous opportunity ahead of us. And for those of you that are interested in having something, number one, that is completely sustainable, two, that we can shift with the markets, whatever's trending, whatever's powerful, whatever's exciting, wherever the sizzle is in terms of entrepreneurship, we can move on a dime because we're built that way. Third, that you have a compensation that's just going to blow you away, that is based on the model that used to have the record of paying the most money to the most people in the shortest period of time. But with this hybrid twist that we put on it, this thing is going to be smoking hot, and with updated payment solutions. So folks, buckle up, because you guys are going to start seeing some tremendous volume come out of this. Our soft launch is August 1st. We'll be announcing at a later date when our pre-launch and then official launch is going to be, but our soft launch is basically going to be the beginning of August. So
Danny, when when can they expect to see the visuals with some more meat and potatoes on iThrive, the presentation, even if it's an initial overview of high-level overview, but with some of the products in there, the pricing, as far as a communicate that honor the leadership that has been with us, and the people that have worked so hard. And so we want to give them an opportunity to start working with their teams, sorting out, we don't want it to just turn into the Wild Wild West and just kind of a free-for-all. We want to honor people and their work. And so we're going to give an opportunity for the leadership to go ahead and turn in their initial starting genealogy, so that from there it can all, as soon as the registration links are available for everyone, the genealogy parts from there. And so we will, I urge you to go on to the iPN HQ, sign up for those iPN updates, so that we can send you the page on where to go to get all those communications that can give you a step-by-step. This is what we're doing. This is what's happening right now. Okay, this is the part we're in right now. This is the timeline. We're going to be doing that all for those who sign up with the iThrive opt-in page. And that's, like I said, that's not registering with an account yet. That is just saying, I want to receive updates and I want to receive communications about the iThrive launch, and I want to be kept in the loop. And so we'll be working with the leaders, and at the same time communicating with you guys about, with everyone about the different stages of the launch. And then, Danny, when are we scheduling this overview webinar for them to see a little bit more substance on the vision of iThrive?
Well, we're going to be doing that on Monday of next week on the what normally would have been the presentation for iPro. We're just going to switch that out, and we're going to be doing the iThrive Network presentation next Monday at 6 p.m.
Okay.
So I think that the registration links already exist, so I don't think we need to switch those out. We may need to just once we get rolling here, once we're getting closer, but for now, the Monday night registration link that you would normally use for the iPro Network, we're going to be using that link for next week. And you guys are going to basically see a lot of what's really cool about it is that all of the messaging is completely different. Everything that's offered there is all the visuals are completely different. It's a completely brand new message, completely brand new company, completely brand new branding, and so it's really, really exciting to be a part of that. And we're starting to work on the videos on how to tell the story and all of those things as well to make it as easy as possible for the network to go out there and start building. But again, for the first view of that presentation will be next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So folks, a couple of takeaways from tonight's webinar. One is get this information to your teams. Let them know what's happening to wind down, but they are getting their commissions, getting their products, access to their products, and that the PV will be respected. Also, nothing changes with the separation with the currency side. Make sure that you update your people. Make sure that you update your people that there's going to be some special announcements coming out on Thursday of next week that anybody that's what the pro holder is going to be interested in listening to. So you want to make sure that you have people watching that and searching out that information from Pro Commerce.
And what you want to do is you want to direct everyone to go to procommerce.io, and at the bottom of that page, scroll all the way down. It's procommerce.io, and at the bottom of the page, it has their official Facebook page, Twitter account. It has their official blog, because you want to make sure you're getting the information from everything that's currency related. You want to make sure you're getting it straight from the source, from the official source, and that you're monitoring the right accounts. And so please make sure that you're doing it, and that you've got that you can spread that news to everyone else so that they can know to go there. Now, the email that did go out from iPro Network stated that if someone has any, needs some assistance with some of the, some of the rewards that they requested from iPro Network, and they're having some difficulty navigating their wallet, things like that. Although normally the tech support is not done through iPro Network, the iPro Network customer service reps are chipping in with that, and at least getting kind of working on behalf of our members to gather some of that help for them, or to connect them, or to set up appointments or whatever, to be able to, when needed, if it goes beyond just sending them, pointing them in the right direction. If there needs to be a little bit more hands-on, they're connecting them with the right people. And then, just so you know, Pro Commerce is setting up their own ticketing system, which is pretty exciting because currencies don't normally do that. but we have said that Pro Commerce wants to be adopted by the masses and kind of do things differently. They kind of builds that bridge to the masses for mass adoption, and remove some of the barrier of entry. And so one of the barriers of entry is that in that world, there really isn't customer service. There isn't really tech support. You kind of go on the blogs and you go on the coding websites and you figure it out. And so they not only have a knowledge base being built out for everyone, they have their YouTube channel that shows how-tos, but on top of that, and they have their blog, but on top of that, they're creating a whole resource center website for everyone. And part of the reason is because because of iPro Network members, the community, the size of the community, and because it is for many their first exposure to the world of cryptocurrency and things like that, and wallets and everything. And so they're going ahead and they're creating that, and they'll have a ticketing system as well. And so you'll be able to get quite a bit of assistance that way. And so I thought that was fabulous. And then there's some other things they'll be able to, there's some things they'll be able to announce next week as well to you. So you want to make sure that everyone is on there and communicating with them directly and getting information from them directly. As far as moving forward, we will be moving forward. Keep a close eye on my iPN HQ, because I think most communications are going to be not so much by mass email. They're probably going to be mostly my iPN HQ, the blog area is going to be where most of the communications to IPN members as the wind down continues, and whatever needs we see trending will be addressed through my IPN HQ. That's very important because once we make the switch over, all outgoing communications via email are going to be iThrive Communications. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for participating in tonight's webinar. And to answer some of the questions that were on here, why didn't I share my camera? The reason is that because of the issue with the technology here, I did click on my camera, but the camera did not light up for whatever reason. And I'm not sure if that was an internet issue, a GoToWebinar issue, because the same thing happened to me on Zoom yesterday with this particular computer that I'm using right now.
I'm not on Mac issue.
So it might be a user issue, it might be a Windows Mac issue. But again, I didn't do my hair today, so it would have been nice anyway. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a tremendous evening, and we love you. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.